There's something in the darkness, hiding under your bed. Something in the shadows, it's not inside your head. Hiding in the darkness, never to see the light. Afterlife, afterlife, afterlife,
Hi, I'm Eric.
Hi, I'm Stacy.
I'm Kyle.
So we got some interesting stuff for you this week. We are going out to Vale Cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire, just like we promised. So we hope you enjoy this show. We've never been out there. I've never been out there.
I've never been out there.
Stacy's never been out there, but Mr. Kyle over here,
I've all the experience.
he knows everything about this place, what it's about on his experience. So we're gonna go out there and do some little bit of investigating ourselves. Not like an investigation, but to see what's out there, what's the oldest tablet out there for a tombstone, and pretty much go from there. I guess there's a lot of history out there. What's her name? Mary
Ritter.
Mary Ritter. I guess the guy who married Mary Ritter buried his second wife with Mary Ritter. So this is pretty interesting.
They were both named Mary too.
They were both named Mary
Yeah.
too. So obviously he had the huts for the woman named Mary. So supposedly her house is next to the cemetery as well. That we do not know where of, but eventually we'll figure it out. So what do you think? You anxious to get out there, Stacy?
I am.
How about you, Kyle? You haven't been there in a long time.
Nope, I haven't been back since the last experience I had there.
About how long ago?
Was it 2007?
So it's been about 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years. So he hasn't been out there in 8 years.
Something must have happened.
So something must have scared the living bananas out of you because...
I know. Well, I wasn't really that scared. It was more interesting than scary. But I mean, at the moment, yeah, I was a little freaky because I was with other people and they were kind of freaking out. So.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. You were young then too, right?
Yeah.
You were like 18?
Probably around that, 17, 18.
Probably 17, 18. So yeah, so it's been a long time.
And I just turned 26. So.
Yeah, so yeah, about 8 years out. So yeah, he was about that, around that area, 18, 19. So we're gonna have an interesting show for you this week. We hope you enjoy it. We're doing our best to give you guys what you want. So we know we delayed this one. But there were some family issues what one of us had to take care of, and Stacy was on vacation last week with her family and with us, with New Hampshire Ghost Stories talk show that we do, plus New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife show we do. We're all about family, and we're all about taking care of what we need to take off before the shows. So that's, if anybody understands, that's the way it should be. So any thoughts that you want to add to this, Stacy?
I just can't wait to get out there and see how old the place is, since I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to go back to tell you guys some of my experiences and what the place is all about.
All right. Well, we hope you stay tuned for this. We got a great show coming for you. And hopefully we can find more for you and get the things that you guys are looking for. So we'll see you at Vale End Cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire. We got a special treat for you this week. We're at Vale End Cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire. This is one of the cases that Kyle's been wanting us to do for a little while. So basically what's going to happen today is Kyle's going to explain a little bit about the cemetery, the areas of the cemetery, and he's going to let you know the hot spots and let you know what actually goes on here and the experiences he had while we're here. So me and Stacy are just pretty much going to follow him around today, and we're just going to talk about things and go from there. So Kyle, this is you, bud.
Yep. I started coming here probably back in maybe like 2007. I had read a lot of things online about this place and heard stories about the Blue Lady, which I'm sure some of you have heard maybe if you from around here. there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in this cemetery. I personally have seen the Blue Lady, which she shows herself as like a blue form of light, sometimes like a glowing column of light. What I saw was a ball of blue light that was in the backwoods over there. I'll show you later. And it started coming out towards us, and it didn't go away quick. It was showing itself for quite a while, enough time for us to all know what was going on. And there's a lot of different stories about this place. There's been stories of people visiting here. There was a lady named Nancy who had an evil experience here, and I guess she ended up dying, was found dead in a parking lot somewhere in Wilton like 4 days later. So I'm going to bring you over to Mary's grave and tell you some about her and the story about that. So stay tuned.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Stacy, and we're standing here at the Mary Ritter gravestone, and Kyle's going to be talking about her story and about the Blue Lady.
Alright, so here's Mary Ritter and Mary Spalding. They were both married to an Isaac Spalding. Mary died in 1808. Some of the stories are that he buried her alive, and I don't know how much of that is true. I think maybe he just wasn't too smart and decided to bury both of his wives together to be cheap. So I think forever, she's probably pissed off. And I was here one night, and I was here with a bunch of friends, and we were trying to capture this, trying to see the Blue Lady. We didn't get to capture it on film, but I was with 4 other friends. I have witnesses that were with me, and we all saw the same thing. Mary was a church-going lady. I don't know much about the second wife, but she's probably not too happy to be buried with her husband's other wife.
Just knowing that he got married after her death.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because how does that work?
then why would you bury both wives together? Is he buried near them?
I don't think he's buried here.
Oh my god, that would have made me mad too. So she is the Blue Lady, and did you see the orb around this grave?
Not around here, but it came back to here.
Ah.
We were actually standing over in the back corner, and I saw just a light in the woods. It looked like just like a candle or something hanging on a tree, or like a cell phone maybe.
Yeah.
But it started to move, and it came out, and it was just floating. And we were all like, "Can you see this right now? What is this?" And it like disappeared real quick, and we turned around and we saw it. There's a bush, 2 bushes over there, and we could see it glowing behind the bush, so it kind of looked like it was watching us and just checking us out and seeing what was going on. Right as I saw it, it came out from around the bush, and it started flowing around the cemetery, and it was going pretty fast.
Did it chase you guys out of the cemetery?
I think so, because we got into our car, and right when I got in the car and all of us got in the car, it was right next to our car, and then it just shooted across the cemetery right back to here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we were out. And we were all driving home. We're freaking out like, what the heck? What the heck? Did you guys just see that? What the hell happened? Like,
Have you
ghosts are
come back
real.
since?
Like, this is real.
Is this your first time back since then?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, were you scared?
No, but it's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. People leave coins here at her grave, show their respects. Last time I was here, there was way more. There's only 2. I did some provoking, which I shouldn't have done, but I was young and dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. And I took some of the coins and I removed them. And that was the night we saw her.
Oh.
So today I came back and I put some coins back, just, say I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mary.
So that's pretty much it.
So as you all can see, interesting history in some cemeteries. There's not a lot of places, there's not a lot of investigating teams that actually do a lot of research on cemeteries, or the histories, or the heritages on how they started. So as the day continues, Kyle's going to tell you more about this place. I'll pop in from time to time, because like I said, I don't know the history on this place. I've never been out here. He's been here more. So let's
and
see.
Did we try to look up history online?
Tried to look up some stuff on this place. It's more like a shadow in the dark.
Yeah.
It comes up, it only tells you where it's located and where we're at.
In some of the instances, like
Yeah.
And some
the
other
Blue
people's
Lady.
stories and stuff.
Supposedly, Mary
But
Ritter.
none of the history?
Supposedly, Mary Ritter's house is up the road. She
Yeah.
lived near the cemetery. Supposedly, it's boarded up. No clue. So that may be something we check out. That may be.
And then you also said something about
The Wilton Townhouse, I mean the city town hall, is supposed to be haunted. And when I was looking up stuff on this place, that popped up. And supposedly when they were building it, like 50 workers or something fell to their death from like 3 or 4 stories. And when they tried rebuilding it, it had a fire and more people died. And around the 3rd time they tried rebuilding it, had another fire and more people died. Every time more and more people died. And my boss knows the guy that owns it. He said he's going to talk to him and try to get us in there. So I hope that works out.
Crazy. The whole town is like cursed.
Yeah.
So as the day continues, Kyle will show you and teach you more about the history of this place, because he's been out here more than once.
Another. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go
Another
ahead.
thing I read online is that they've buried murderers and some bad people in the outside of the cemetery out in the woods.
So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to do more research on that as well. So back then, a lot of things were done. A lot of records weren't kept. A lot of these places have hidden secrets. So sometimes cemeteries are dated when they're stamped, but that doesn't mean that's when they started. So we are in the middle of nowhere, and this cemetery is like 4 or 5 miles from the town. So you could see this was a pretty far haul to lug a casket back then in the 1800s by horse and carriage. So stay tuned, because we're going to continue to show you some more of this interesting cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire.
So another experience I had here, this was actually during the day. I was here with a couple of my friends and we were standing over there, and I glanced over to my left, and what I saw was a white figure standing right here looking down at this grave, Putnam. And I thought it was kind of weird, and as I saw it, I walked over here and my friend was like, "Oh, where are you going?" And he's like, "Did you just see that too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, did you see that?" And he's like, "Yeah." He was like, "I didn't say anything until you just started walking over here." And I thought it was really weird. And a few weeks ago when I was doing my research, another story, or some people have stories here that they've seen people here visiting their own graves. This one is of an 8-month-old baby. So what I saw was a taller person, so I mean, I think it could have possibly been a parent visiting their child's grave. So that was.
Did you tell what he was wearing?
It was just white. It was just white, foggy looking thing. It was real quick. It was all peripheral,
Yeah.
you know. But I saw it. It was enough to just like catch my attention and just walk over here. So that's one of the stories here about people visiting their own graves. So
And that's interesting.
yeah.
You don't hear too many stories like that. People coming back to visit themselves in their graves. It's scary, it's freaky. Obviously they're probably trying to figure out if they're dead or not. Do we know all the stories about the afterlife? No. This is why we do what we do. Will we ever have the answers? Will we ever have the questions for people to understand why the dead visit themselves or come back to haunt us?
It's life's greatest mystery.
Yeah. The human mind is very, very tricky. The human mind can make you see things that aren't actually there. The human mind can play tricks on you. The most haunted thing in this world is the human mind. So keep that in mind.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So if you think you ever saw something, doesn't mean you never did. It doesn't mean that your mind's playing tricks. Our mind is like a tape recorder. It plays back everything we do. And sometimes it's just going to show us something that's not there. So keep that in mind. But as in the world for the paranormal, we're going to continue to do research and figure out what we need to do to make sure that people in the world understand what's going on. So we're going to continue to do more stuff here in the cemetery today. And Kyle's going to show us some more stuff. I believe he's going to show us where the Indian burial ground is here.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. All right, so we are in one of the back parts of Vale Inn Cemetery. Supposedly this is where Native Americans were buried. Indians. So he's going to explain a little bit about it. There's not much known about this, but as you can see, it's used as a dumping ground, and that would piss off a lot of Indians. So we'll go from there. So Kyle.
I mean, yeah, there really wasn't too much I could find on it, but yeah, this is the back northeast corner of Vale Inn Cemetery, where it's said to be a Native American burial ground. And last time I came here, there was a lot more stuff dumped back here, and there was like headstones just thrown away, just like in the woods. So, you know, obviously that's not right.
No wonder their town all get burnt down.
Yeah. There's also stories of people seeing like these little Grover people, and if you've ever investigated Native American burials and stuff like that, you've heard stories of people seeing like these little creatures that are supposedly supposed to, I don't know, cause trouble
terror.
and mess with your head and make you do things.
Me myself never heard of Grovers,
Yeah. Except for Sesame Street.
except for Sesame Street. I mean, is it a myth? Who knows? This whole world is a weird universe of mystical things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes things are seen that other people are able to see, and we're not able to be seeing those things. So
Can't even find the graves out here.
yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying what he found for knowledge that there is Indians actually buried under where we're standing. We're not 100% sure. But at the same time, this is disrespect for whatever's buried that we're standing on. And it's not right either. So that tells you how our culture is starting to grow, where disrespecting a lot of things is not a good thing. Because if you don't believe in this stuff, or you really don't care about this stuff, well, you come into a cemetery, you kick over a tombstone, and then you get haunted for the rest of your life. Make sure you figure out why you're being haunted for the rest of your life, because the damage you do can be done to you.
It's the same thing with Ouija boards. I've never used a Ouija board because it just opens up doors and you don't want to know.
Started off as a game in the late 1800s. There is such thing as a witch board.
And if you know how to use it, that's totally fine.
Yeah, but you also
don't
got to
play
remember,
around with it.
Ouija boards can be dangerous if you know how to do it. Ouija boards can be dangerous if you know how to use black magic. Everything is possible in this world. So how you do things in your life is how it affects you. So remember, if you're going to do these things and use these things, be safe about it. Read up on it. Don't do it alone, because you don't know what you're playing with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand this. Yeah, Ouija board, yeah, it's a game. It comes in a box. You can buy it at any store. But at the same time, if you're going to use something like this, make sure you have a parent with you if you're under the age. Make sure you understand what you're using, because you're playing with fire.
Yeah. And I probably did play with some fire back when I was younger. One of the other experiences I had after leaving this place happened to me twice, and I don't know if it could have just been something that was just naturally happened to me, but I've never had it before, only when I was like a little kid. The night actually we saw the Blue Lady here, I went home and I was sleeping on my couch at my parents' house when I lived with them, watching TV, all the lights on. I don't remember falling asleep, and I woke up instantly, couldn't move, couldn't breathe, and I felt like I wanted to just yell for help, and I couldn't. And that was really weird, and then it just went away. And that happened to me twice, like 2 nights in a row.
After visiting here?
After visiting here. And that's never happened to me after either, so I mean, it could just be sleep paralysis, but I feel like if you did have that, it would happen more often. So
Yeah, there's a
that's
lot of
pretty
claims.
strange.
There's a lot of claims. A lot of known stuff that's happened to people while they're sleeping. Some people say they can't move in their sleep. That's because your body is so relaxed that your brain's not catching up to your body to tell you to move. That's why they call it sleep paralysis, as he just said. It's happened to me where I've gone to bed, I can move the rest of my body, but I couldn't move my head.
Yeah.
It happens. People seem to think it's paranormal. Believe it or not, it's really not. It's just your body is so relaxed and you're so calmed down that you're waking up, but some parts of your body is still trying to wake up after that long induced sleep.
It was just strange to me because it was after here.
Yeah. Things
I
happen.
never any other time before or after.
So I hope there's no other places you would like to show us, or
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole place. It's not that big of a cemetery,
yeah.
but a
So-
lot of cool stuff about it though.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. This took a long time for us to get out here because we had so much things going on the last several weeks. So, like I said, we're doing our best to bring you, the viewers, what you want to hear, what you want to see, and what you want to know about the paranormal world. Sometimes we're not always going to be able to get out to these places, so just be patient with us. We know there's a lot of TV shows that do stuff like this, but when they do their TV shows, they add special effects to it. We don't do the special effects. We want to give you right to the straight point of what's going on. We don't need to have all that funky stuff going on. Would it be nice? Yes, but if we show you where we're standing and what we're doing, it's real talk.
And if there's places that you guys think we should go to, or if you have any information for us, just email us, let us know what you think and what we should be doing.
Yeah. So please like that page. Please share what we're doing to others, because there are people out there that don't get to see this stuff and are looking to find the real deal. So continue to stay tuned to our show. We're going to have some more interesting stuff coming up to you over the rest of the fall and rest of the winter. We do this every week. So we are out.
Thanks.
So that was Valence Cemetery, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you ever want to go out there, I'm going to warn you right now, cops will arrest you at night, so make sure you can get permission. I'm trying to dig away into talking to someone to get us in there at night. We've tried, people have not called us back, so it's really hard. Some of these places, they just don't want people in there at night, just too many vandalists and stuff like that. So Stacy, what did you think about it?
I loved the place. I thought it was really cool how there's like an Indian burial ground right next to it.
Yeah.
And I just loved hanging out in the woods.
Yeah, it was a very interesting place. Some very old graves.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how far back some of them went. Some of them in the 1700s.
The most recent one was 2014.
Yes.
Too.
So obviously the cemetery is still being used for burial.
Families are still being buried with family members, so that's
And
really
pets.
cool.
And pets.
And pets.
The one thing that bothers me though is supposedly out in the other part of Valence Cemetery is supposed to be an old Indian burial ground. They just, as you saw in the video,
It's like buried.
they just throw like junk on top of it. But as we're told, that's what that is. But is it 100% sure that that's an actual Indian burial? The only way we're going to find out is if we do some actually hard digging on this place.
Or we
But
or we
tried.
get someone that we can talk to that knows all about
Yes,
it.
we
exactly.
talked to somebody.
So, I mean, it's hard, especially when stuff goes back, because some towns are so old that
they don't
before,
put anything online.
yeah, and before their name even became the name of that town, there could have been another name of that town. Some names get changed, like the city we lived in. It was actually 3 parts. It was Amoskeag, the town of Amoskeag, the town of Deerfield, and the town of Manchester. And then they just got rid of Deerfield and Amoskeag and made it all Manchester.
Yeah,
So-
their town could have split into 2 or whatever.
It changes, so it's going to be hard. This is a very old cemetery, and it's 5 miles from the town itself. So normally back then, when towns or places were settling, normally the cemetery was only a mile from the
Yeah,
establishment.
they're like right near the town hall or the meeting house.
This is out in the middle of nowhere. It's like a 5-mile drive out from the town itself.
And some of the houses on the way there are old and beautiful and so
Yeah.
colonial.
So, but as you saw in our episode, we hope you enjoyed this. And like Kyle was saying, don't go out here at night because you can get arrested for trespassing. They don't play games out there. We're going to continue to see what we can do about getting an investigation out there for NHPA and maybe get into the town hall, the one that burnt down where people died multiple times trying to build this place 3 times.
Yeah.
So that's information we got. So stay tuned and see you next week.
Thanks.
There's something in the darkness hiding under your bed. Something in the shadows. It's not inside your head. Hiding in the darkness, never to see the light.